Hi everyone, it's Simon Keeling here at weatherweb.net. It's Monday the 1st of December and this is your look ahead video. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget you can subscribe to us through the YouTube channel to get notified of when we make updates. And also you can subscribe to us directly as well, so we'll send you an email through when we get an update online. You can do that through weatherweb.net. Now, the CFS has seen winter. Yeah, it's a cold look to the CFS at the moment. Can't jump up and down too much about it because obviously it changes day to day, but when I show in a second you'll see what I mean. We do get a blast of winter coming through late on in the month. I'm not sure that I agree with the CFS particularly, but I'll show you exactly what I mean in just a mo. First up though, it's December, so let's have a review of our November forecast. This is what we put out in the middle of October. It went out to private clients at the beginning of the month of October, and you see here, look, rainfall totals. We went for 120 to 170% in the west, 60 to 80% in the east. Went with this idea of the west being wetter, the east being drier. Temperatures typically around +1 to +3 degrees above average. Went for the warmest across eastern parts of the country. And this is how temperatures ended up. So the idea that we had of the warmest temperatures being off towards the east certainly looks okay. It was certainly the east that was warmest. Not quite so warm as we thought off towards the west. Looking there at temperatures were around 0 to +1 above normal, but it was certainly the east that saw the warmest of the conditions. So temperature was quite a hit actually. Temperature seemed to work, but it was rainfall really that didn't come in quite as much. This is from the Met Office website, England and Wales precipitation, and we saw 135% of normal rainfall across the whole of England and Wales. Now when we look into regions, Scotland saw near normal rainfall. Now this is the whole of Scotland, remember, as well, but there is evidence actually the west was wetter. This is Northern Ireland precipitation, 161% of normal look, and everywhere really seeing it up to the 15th, and then we turned drier. Now, southeastern England rainfall came in at 176%, and it was those very wet few days, you may remember them, that kicked in around last weekend, that really just topped up those totals. We'd still have been above normal, and we'd still have been away from our prediction, but if that hadn't happened, then we'd probably come in at around 120%. So it would have been wetter than we predicted, but not as wet as it was. And southwest England and Wales came in at about 140% of normal. Again, a little bit higher than we thought, but the idea that rainfall would be around about normal and it would be, you know, a wettish sort of month probably came in okay. So it was rainfall that let us down through November. Temperatures did really, really well. And the idea of the west-east split was kind of there, although not quite as strong as you'd want it to be. But that's the fun, isn't it, of making these month-ahead predictions. Now, as far as temperature is concerned for the next week, things change dramatically. This is the temperature anomaly for the next 7 days. So this is valid up till next Monday. And you can see here, look, how much of central northern Europe is under these blue colours, and through Iberia as well, with the depth of the cold, really the real deep cold here, centred over western parts of Russia. But with an east to northeasterly wind, it is going to be flowing into the British Isles at times as well. So we're in for temperatures probably about 1 degree to 2 degrees Celsius below normal for the time of year during the coming week. And there are signs and hints of a brief winter snap coming through during next week. Now, it's going to feel chillier through this week as well. This is today. We've got cloud coming in courtesy of this weakening occluded front, and also some rain spreading southeast through Scotland at the moment. Now, that's going to be turning to snow over the hills of Scotland during this evening. Won't last very long, shouldn't cause too many problems, but will turn icy behind that. So certainly a taste of winter already on the way. Now for Tuesday, we're going to be seeing this weak front staying over the southeast of the country, that producing some spots of rain, but I think a cold day across many central and eastern areas thanks to the brisk northerly wind. Elsewhere dry. High pressure then hangs around into Wednesday. An early morning frost on Wednesday, but dry for most with some sunny spells. Just some bits and pieces of cloud and rain across northern and western Scotland. A few more as well across southeast England. And then for Thursday, cloud and rain again drifting westward. Some spots of drizzle to come on that. And a chilly day, I think, for many on Thursday. And bits and pieces of rain across northern and western Scotland, but dry for most. And then Friday, a colder day with a northwesterly flow. I think some snow showers around northern and western Scotland. Elsewhere, variable cloud really. There'll be bands of sunshine, but also bands of cloud floating through as well, with 1 or 2 spots of rain. Saturday sees high pressure building across the south, dry for many, probably milder and bits and pieces of drizzle across northern and western Scotland. But it's next week that has the focus for our attention, because the Canadian does this. That's a plunge of very cold air coming down into the British Isles. Low pressure off towards the east. There'll be bands of rain associated with that, turning increasingly to snow. And what it tries to do is to tumble down, look, some cold air. You see the little kinks in the ice bars here and here and here. Those are troughs coming in, deeply unstable troughs that would turn rain into sleet and to snow. Now, those snow geese amongst you, don't get too excited just yet. Very, very, very early days, but the ECMWF does something rather similar. What would be interesting is to see what happens should that become the case. I think probably what we would find is that bands of rain would turn to sleet and snow as they come southwards, turning to ice behind. So it's one of those sort of short, snappy, icy spells. And then with all this cold air plunging into Central Europe, it would be interesting to see exactly what happened there, because as you can hear, the weather wolf gets very excited about snow. Only have to mention the word and off he goes. But what we could find is perhaps a centre of low pressure, a trough, trying to form here across central southern parts of Europe. If that happens, that brings in a northeasterly, much colder flow. But I would say risk on this, 20 to 30% just at the moment. But it's interesting, showing up on the numericals and showing up across all the models as well. This kind of hint of a brief hit of cold next week. This is the ECMWF 7 to 10 day, GFS 7 to 10 day on the right here. So this is valid for next Monday through to Thursday the 14th. And you notice here, look, they've both got quite strong jets coming in from the Atlantic. GFS making more of the ridge build over the Atlantic. ECMWF wanting to try and get this trough in across eastern parts of Europe more so than the GFS. So this is something we're going to need to watch carefully. Of course, it may not happen, and I certainly don't want you running off away with the idea that we're about to hit winter hard. It's just that there is a risk there that winter could try and give us a little bit of a bite next week. Now, this is the CFS, and let's just show how the CFS plays it. First to the 7th looking like this. There's our ridge look, our higher than normal heights through the country this week. Now, this is the CFS forecast for week 2, 8 to the 14th. There's our ridge squeeze down to the southwest. Look, there's our lower than normal heights to the north. Jet coming across the top, and what that allows is for slightly milder westerly winds to get in during that week. But that's the start of the week, because it's this that would be important. So remember the GFS on the 10 day that I showed you previously, not making as much of the trough as the ECMWF. Watch what it then does, because the CFS is based on very similar dynamics to the GFS. That's week 3. This is the 15th to the 21st. And look, trough out towards the east, ridge building towards the west, bang, down it comes. Really cold Arctic air. That's winter that arrives if that came true, and we'd be in much, much colder conditions. You'd be talking daytime temperatures 3 to 5 degrees across the south. You'd be looking to get 0 to 2 degrees across Scotland, and there would be snow showers. How long it lasts? Well, that's the question, because it then does this, look. Remember me telling you about that northerly flow and the idea of low pressure developing across Europe if it came true? Well, look what the CFS tries to do. It sees that the GEM is seeing as well, and it tries to do a similar thing. Look, builds the ridge off towards the east, keeps the off towards the west. Sorry, keeps the ridge out towards the east, and there we go, a northeasterly flow and winter through the 22nd to the 28th of December. That goes against our forecast, basically, for December, which actually looks cool through the first half of the month. Then we pick up a little bit heading into the early part of Christmas week, so between about the 15th to around the 21st, and perhaps it then goes slightly milder heading into Christmas before things then turn much colder as we head into the new year. But if this came true, this would be a colder snap getting in prior to that. Now, of course, the usual caveats apply. It's one model that's gone for this. It's just that it's stacking up with these cooler chillier ideas. Of course, anything could happen. Okay, this could completely change tomorrow. So if you're new to watching these forecasts, please don't run away saying, "Oh, it's going to be snow. Simon says it's going to be snow," because that's not what we do here. What we do is show you what's going on at the moment in terms of the models, and we all know, if you've watched these regularly, that anything could change. But there are signs there. Phew. Now, it's coming up to Christmas. Loads of you already have got my Weatherwise DVD and my pocket weather forecaster book. And thanks so much for your feedback on these. It's especially nice to know that some of you are actually buying a second copy of the Pocket Weather Forecaster book because your first copy is worn out because you've used it so much. So thanks for letting me know how much you appreciate it. And yes, there'll be a more Weatherwise DVD out during the new year, and I'm working on another book as well. But for those of you who don't have it, they make ideal Christmas presents, and you can order both the DVD and the Pocket Weather Forecaster book from the website right now. The DVD is 2 hours long, and it's got little 5-minute sections about the weather, so it tells you about high pressure, low pressure, fronts, etc., clouds. The Pocket Weather Forecaster book runs just under 90 pages. It's half A4 size, full colour, and it explains about clouds, identifying clouds, and the weather that they foretell as well. Both of them make perfect Christmas presents, or perhaps even just a gift for yourself. And you can order those, as I say, from the website now. We've got quite a few in stock still, but they're selling out quite quickly. So if you want them for Christmas presents, probably best to get in sooner rather than later. And on that note, I'm going to leave you for now. Certainly plenty to get your teeth into there in that video, I think you all agree. So if you want to go back and watch it again, do feel free to do so. So I'll leave you with that for now. Hopefully that's been useful. And whatever you're doing, have a great day and keep the sun shining. Bye for now.